Coming up next on this extra edition of the RCWR Show, what a crazy week it's been for wrestling fans as Ring of Honor Wrestling makes the move to Destination America, the same channel/network that TNA Wrestling is a part of. We'll go into all the craziness that's going on with regards to that. Also, fresh off of the heels of a very memorable and a very talked about interview with Diane Sawyer, Bruce Jenner is going to be gracing the cover of a certain magazine as a woman for a photo spread. We'll give you the details about that one and let you know when you'll be able to see this. Also, Kevin Owens looks like he's moving to the main WWE roster sooner rather than later. We'll give you all the details on that one, and I'll give you my first impressions of photo sets that we have seen from the new Suicide Squad movie, where we have a cameo by the Dark Knight. And we'll preview the NBA Finals. It's the extra edition of the RCWR Show, exclusive for YouTube, and it begins right now. Let's do it. And it's your host right here, the one and only, the Black Avenger, aka the Black Azrael, Lee Sanders. Pleased to meet you. Nice to know me. Thank you so much for checking out this extra edition of the RCWR Show, coming at you Saturday, May 30th, 2015. As always, we appreciate you guys that take the time out to welcome us into your home or your work or wherever you're checking us out. Maybe you're on the go. Who knows? We appreciate you guys that always check us out, especially our extra editions of the RCWR Show we've been doing for you all the past couple of weeks. I say we continue to build a little bit of decent momentum as far as you all coming and representing and checking it out. As always, feedback much appreciated. Interact with us all throughout social media. You know, we're now on Vine. I'm starting to play around with that and get into it a little bit more. I'll post the link in the episode description here. Should already be down there. Check it out when you guys get a chance. All right, let's jump right into it. A lot of stuff that we got to talk about this crazy busy week it has been. If you are a wrestling fan, it was the shot heard around the world. If you were a wrestling fan, in my case, I was at work when this news went down, and one of our listeners, followers, actually a couple, was like, Lee, what are your thoughts with regards to this? Of course, Ring of Honor, Destination America / Discovery Communications, a deal has been made, and as we would later find out, Discovery Communications and Ring of Honor have actually been going back and forth for the past several months trying to get some type of a deal together that would see Ring of Honor come into the Discovery Communications family. And it was the shot heard around the world this week as we found out that Ring of Honor, effective June 3rd, that's Wednesday, June 3rd, every single Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, they will be coming on Destination America as a lead-in for setting up new episodes of TNA Impact Wrestling. We will find out the details of this deal, which it looks as though Ring of Honor is going to be airing on Destination America for the next 26 weeks. So when you really break that down, you're looking at about 6 months that they're going to be airing. But you TNA wrestling fans, you're probably hearing this news and you're probably saying to yourselves, wait a minute, what exactly does this mean for TNA wrestling? Things were so hectic, so chaotic this week when the announcement was made. Any scheduled interviews that TNA wrestlers were supposed to do were canceled effective immediately, like right there on the spot. I know when the news had first came about, Rockstar Spud was supposed to do an interview, but that got canned once that news had came about. This had took the TNA wrestlers like off guard. They were not prepared for this news. It was just so like left field that not even the TNA officials, Dixie Carter crew, nobody had knew about this deal. It actually led to Dixie Carter having a emergency meeting to talk with production, the talent, about what all is going on. And from the notes that we were able to obtain about that conference, it appears as some wrestlers were pretty upset at what was going on. Not to mention, there are apparently a lot of talent and production crew that still have not been paid for previous months, as somehow Dixie Carter was able to dodge that topic as best as she could. But you just got to feel for the men and women of TNA wrestling that are probably looking at this situation with Ring of Honor coming in, as at first it looked as though TNA wrestling was like the only wrestling around, at least for that network, and now you have Ring of Honor coming into the fold. We highlighted on the podcast earlier this week how everything had came about, especially concerning a email that Dixie Carter had tried to put out to everybody in TNA wrestling, where basically she in part had called the Destination America president or Discovery Communications president, whatever, a dummy or whatever. And apparently when she sent that email, I mean, what are the odds that this happens twice in like one freaking year, as far as a mishap with the email, as far as it going to the wrong person? That email, well, that Destination America president or whatever saw that, and now this is where we are right now. I don't want to focus too much on TNA wrestling. I will definitely go in depth about this more on our podcast Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, live on Spreaker.com. All the links you need is in this episode description. But I will, for now, just focus on Ring of Honor, and it's rather brief. Now, look, I am ecstatic that Ring of Honor has secured this deal, for the simple fact, I've always been a fan of Ring of Honor wrestling. The one vice for me, the one flaw for me that has always been an issue with Ring of Honor. Now, I know some of you guys, especially you hardcore Ring of Honor fans, may be like, here it comes. But no. The one flaw that I've always had with Ring of Honor has always been being able to sit down in front of a computer and trying to watch Ring of Honor, or trying to get a HDMI cable, hook it up to the TV so that I can then go on my laptop, go to the Ring of Honor website, catch up with the episodes that way. That was like the only way I could do it, because I just cannot, for the love of me, sit in front of a laptop and watch a wrestling show. I tried to do it with OVW, and from what I saw of that promotion every single week, it was just, I don't know, for me, I don't know if there's a lot of you all that kind of feel the same way I do, but I'm one of those type of people, I like to be moving around and all that. I don't like to just stay designated, unless I'm recording for a show or whatever, or I'm doing the podcast, that's one thing, but like to just be in front of a laptop and be watching something, I'd rather be watching it nice and big on the TV. And I tried to do that with Ring of Honor every single weekend, every chance that I got. Eventually my HDMI cable wore out because it wasn't long enough, and so the connection wire ended up being bad and all that. And there was a period where on late Saturday nights going into Sunday mornings on WJLA 7 in Washington DC, we would get to see Ring of Honor wrestling, but like they kept moving the time slots around so much that eventually it stopped coming on. So I thought I had it made. All I had to do was set the DVR, and then, hey, you know, I'll be able to watch it whenever. But that eventually has stopped. So to see that Ring of Honor was able to work out a deal with Discovery Communications to bring Ring of Honor onto Destination America, I'm ecstatic, because it means I will definitely be able to check out the product on a weekly basis. Now, those of you that pay your exclusive membership fees and all that for new Ring of Honor episodes, you'll still get your episodes way you're supposed to. I think you guys get new episodes like every Saturday properly or whatever. We'll basically be watching those episodes that you get on Saturdays on Wednesday. So the way it's looking right now, Destination America will not be getting first run new episodes of Ring of Honor. But I mean, that's still a great win-win situation. And, for the longest time, they actually had been without a deal with a respected satellite cable provider. Because remember, they had did something with like HD Net, I think it was. But that was like a couple of years ago. I have a little bit of reservations when it comes to Sinclair Broadcasting, because when it's all said and done, Arsenio Hall's show, remember when he came back the second go round, what was it, last year or whatever? And he actually was supposed to be renewed for a second season. And unfortunately, that second season did not come through because many TV affiliates, they looked at it and they thought about the Arsenio Hall show long-term wise, and they just didn't feel it was a really good investment. So they pulled out. And that left Sinclair Broadcasting with the option of, okay, well, you know what? We'll go on ahead and we'll pay for the second season ourselves. Because if you guys remember, because it was trending, Arsenio Hall, he was supposed to come back for a second season. But then once all the TV affiliates, sponsors, once they all kind of pulled out, Sinclair Broadcasting was left. Rather than them say, okay, you know what, we're on to something here. Let's go ahead. Let's go with the second season. They decided to actually the Arsenio Hall show, and that was it. So Sinclair Broadcasting, they have a little bit of a notorious reputation from time to time getting hold of some really great programs, and just out of left field they just can them or whatever. But I tell you what, the one thing that has been a consistent for Sinclair Broadcasting in a good way, especially if you're a pro wrestling fan, is their relationship with Ring of Honor Wrestling, seeing as how they own a majority of stock in the company and all that. I think this is a great move for Ring of Honor. It helps the company expand even more. I know we have some people that's out there that look at the Ring of Honor product and they say to themselves, oh, Ring of Honor is just a big old spot fest. I don't see that, especially with the caliber of talent that they have over there right now. You've got AJ Styles, you have Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels. Curious to see how things are going to work out with Samoa Joe, if he's going to be able to continue working dates with them, pay-per-view events, seeing as to how he is under some type of an arrangement with the WWE right now. You have Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Red Dragons, I believe is what they're called. Great team right there. I mean, God, you got Jay Lethal. Man, there's just so many great pieces of talent that's over there. I love Ring of Honor Wrestling. I'm happy that this deal came about. I look forward to getting as much fix of Ring of Honor as possible, and you can best believe that when I tell you, I had to get that in there somewhere. You can best believe that when I tell you, as far as this news goes with Ring of Honor, we will definitely be doing our very best to cover more action that comes about from Ring of Honor every single week on our podcast, which you can catch exclusively Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, live on Spreaker.com. But this is really great news. Coming up on our next podcast edition of the RCWR Show, we will dive more into the news of this between Ring of Honor and Discovery Communications, Destination America, and we'll also flip the script and we'll also look at what's going on from TNA's standpoint. A lot of my colleagues, they've chimed in on this. I've yet to really go in depth and speak on this news since it came about. But we will definitely talk about it on our next podcast. You all may be a little bit surprised at some of the things that I have to say, but it's definitely going to be very insightful and it's going to be very thought-provoking. And I promise you, we will do our best to keep it positive and most importantly interactive with you guys. So make sure you check us out for that. But in the meantime, I want to hear from you guys, especially those of you that watch the Ring of Honor product. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you think with regards to this news, and we'll definitely follow up with what y'all have to say on our next show. We have a correction that we need to make to all of you, our listeners and subscribers. Now, I had the impression that with regards to the WWE Elimination Chamber event that's going to be happening exclusively on the WWE Network this weekend of Sunday, May 31st, that it was only going to be exclusive to the North American audience. Well, one of our listeners was very kind enough to send me little video clips of what they thought it was that I might have heard, which actually turns out was not the case. And it actually turns out Michael Cole was just saying to the North American audience that the only way they would be able to see the Elimination Chamber event is exclusively on the WWE Network. So the way that they kind of made that come off, it'd be very easy, especially if you're not really paying attention. Maybe you're doing multitasking as you're trying to get ready to do a live show that night, that maybe they were trying to say, oh, it's only going to be shown in North America only. That's not the case. Everybody that has the WWE Network, you will be able to see the Elimination Chamber event, as it is only available on the network, not available on cable satellite providers. I wish WWE would have done a better job at really homing that in and everything. So I apologize for any confusion, any mistakes, errors that I made on my part. But again, if you have the WWE Network, doesn't matter what country you reside in, you will definitely be able to see that Elimination Chamber event on the WWE Network this Sunday, May 31st. Speaking of the Elimination Chamber event, I want to remind you guys that we do have our match predictions that's available right now here on our YouTube channel. So make sure you show that some love, and make sure you give us your predictions on that excerpt that's uploaded right now. Check it out when you guys get a chance. All right, so moving right along to other news that's come about. How about what's going on with the NBA Finals? I mean, it's going to be the Golden State Warriors taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. You got two young rookie coaches, especially in Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, when you really look at the way he has just been putting out the execution there, he really comes off like a very young Phil Jackson. He reminds me a lot like Phil Jackson. I mean, Golden State Warriors, this is like the new Lakers as far as I'm concerned. These guys are freaking awesome. But Steve Kerr, I'm very excited for him. I'm, of course, very excited for LeBron James. Talk about everything just kind of coming full circle and everything. I mean, it's just badass. I mean, this is going to be a great NBA Finals. I mean, interesting stats, too, when you look at what's going on between these two teams. The season series for these teams is tied 1-1, right? So the last time that these guys had met, it was actually the Cleveland Cavaliers that defeated the Warriors 110-99. Now, the game that Golden State won, LeBron didn't play. So it's like, wow, how much of a factor is LeBron going to play into this series matchup? I mean, that's one of the main questions that you got to ask to yourself. But I mean, I think this is going to be, if I were to give an early prediction, I think it could go to game 5, 6. I don't see a game 7. Personally, I'd love to see a game 7, but I think it's going to end around game 5, game 6. If I got to give an early prediction, I'm looking at the Golden State Warriors. I mean, their arsenal is just, I think they got it. I think they got this. You'll be able to see the NBA Finals beginning on Thursday, June 4th, 9 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on ABC. ABC is the home for the NBA Finals. Fresh off the heels of a very devastating car accident, bad example of texting while you're driving and all that, followed up by a very revealing interview with Diane Sawyer. Bruce Jenner revealing that he's decided that the age of, what is he, 65 years old? He's definitely in his mid-60s. He decided that he wanted to make the transition into being a woman. If you guys didn't check out the interview, make sure you do. It was a very thought-provoking, a very insightful interview that really makes you come away respecting people that are gay and transgendered even more. And that's no bull. But Bruce Jenner, coming fresh off the heels of that interview with Diane Sawyer, he has made headlines once again as he's going to be appearing in the June issue of Vanity Fair magazine, where he is going to be fully dressed up as a woman. So those of you that are a little bit curious how that's going to pan out, you might want to scoop up a couple of copies. Those of you that love to sell things on eBay, I can promise you, as an eBayer myself, that's going to be a very hot item. People are probably going to be willing to pay out of the you-know-what. So make sure you grab that when you guys get a chance. I'll definitely be grabbing that, and we'll definitely do a review for you guys here on a future episode of the RCWR Show. Staying with entertainment, did you guys hear about who has joined the cast for the new Full House reboot titled Fuller House that will be premiering on Netflix sometime in 2016? Well, aside from David Coulier, John Stamos, Bob Saget has been revealed as the final piece of the puzzle. Yes, 59-year-old comedian Bob Saget, who was once the host of America's Funniest Home Videos. As you all know, a lot of hosts have taken up that mantle over the years. We now have a new host in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's Alfonso Ribeiro. Yes, he's going to be the new host for America's Home Videos, America's Funniest Home Videos. I always get those initials mixed up. But this pretty much completes the cast just about, as Bob Saget joins comedian David Coulier, who, you know, I still can't believe at what point he was dating Alanis Morissette. You know about that song, You Oughta Know, and there's that part where she says, will she go down on you in a theater or something like that? I mean, it's just so hard to believe that he was dating her. And, like, I'm sure he's probably kicking himself in the ass a little bit, seeing as how her career really exploded, and his just kind of, well, to the point you can't really name 10 things that he's done since Full House leading up to now. I mean, that's the sad truth. Not knocking the guy. That's just the sad truth. But Bob Saget joins him. Also joins Candace Cameron, Cameron Burke, Jodie Sweetin, and Lori Loughlin. Absent, obviously, are the Olsen twins. They took a pass on this. Can you blame them? I mean, when Full House had first started, these girls, their parents, were just, you want our kids to do what? Oh, give me the pen. Done. Where else you need me to sign? Done. And it was pretty much going on that way. I think even right on up until they were teenagers. Remember the string of bad Olsen twin movies that came about? I think there was one that was interesting, though. I think it was called Parent Trap or something like that. It was a rather decent movie. It was probably one of the most decent ones that I can recall from my childhood going into my teenage years that I had saw that they did that was kind of cool or whatever. But don't say never. They may end up popping up on this series. Maybe they are just going to sit it out, see how the series does, and at a later date, maybe they might come back. But I think that there's many people that out there that would be very quick to point out you can't do a Full House reboot if you do not have the twins. They played a very vital part in that series. It's funny too, because I was actually talking with a couple of friends of mine and my girlfriend about this news earlier in the week, and we all said the same thing, that like, well, you know, the fact that the kids were there, the twins, it was somewhat of a little bit of an added bonus. But we all talked about who we really watched the series for. We really watched it. It's like so funny too, because we all had it in common. We all watched mainly for John Stamos, Bob Saget. For me, David Coulier just wasn't funny. I looked at him as a poor man's version of Robin Williams. To each its own, but that's just how I looked at it. He was trying a little bit too hard to be funny, I felt. But that new reboot that's going to be happening exclusively on Netflix 2016. I'm going to follow up on this on our podcast, because if this proves to be a success, I have a very short list on shows that I think Netflix may want to consider, and I'll also give you some picks as far as who I think should be the director slash writers of these series if they were able to come back and exclusively on Netflix. It's going to be an interesting one. Very short list too. I can't wait. I tell you, I was going over the shows. I was thinking about who would be awesome for like directors and writers. Very good list that I came up with. Let's stay with entertainment. We got some big news for that Suicide Squad movie that's going to be coming up in August of next year, 2016. Saw some new images that came about where we saw Batman. It's not Ben Affleck. You'd hope that maybe he'll make some type of a cameo, though. He probably is. But there's some great images floating around of a Ben Affleck stunt double. And when you see him in the suit, you just come away saying, damn, kind of pays homage to Jim Lee there and Frank Miller. Really badass. I'm loving the new costume more and more, and I'm like so pumped up to see the Man of Steel movie because I know we're going to get to see a lot of that costume that's in the Suicide Squad movie. But there's a cool scene in Suicide Squad where Batman is on top of a car that's being driven by Jared Leto as the Joker, but it's his stunt double. Margot, I can't think of her name right now, but the actress that plays Harley Quinn, she's riding shotgun, and the images are just really badass. I mean, it looks like it's coming together really, really well. I'm so pumped. I can't wait to see how this plays out. We went over the cast list already, but if you guys are not aware of who all makes the cast, and you're a little bit curious, you want to check out the photos and all that, we actually posted it on our Facebook page, little teaser, so check it out. We didn't go overkill, we just uploaded about 2-3 images just to whet your appetite a little bit. But if you're curious who all makes the cast and you don't know who it is, do that research on your own. We won't spoil that part for you. The future is looking very bright for Kevin Owens as he's set to appear on more WWE shows as far as Raw. Hopefully SmackDown is part of that. He'll also still be appearing for NXT, at least right on up through after SummerSlam, possibly leading into the Battleground pay-per-view event that'll be happening. And then afterwards, you would think that there would be a slow phase out from him being on NXT, which leaves the question who is possibly going to be the NXT champion as Kevin Owens / Kevin Steen makes his way to the main roster on a full-time basis. Things that make you go, with regards to that, right? And then one last piece of news that I thought was very interesting you all should know about, especially those of you that use the Tidal service, those of you that are big fans of Beyonce and you're a little bit concerned about her catalog, as rumors had it that her entire catalog as well as other artists were going to be removed from the Tidal streaming service, as there was a little bit of conflict that was going on with other music streaming platforms. Beyonce is there to stay. That is according to the Sony CEO Doug Morris, who said there's no plans to remove Beyonce from Tidal at any time, at no time whatsoever. And you just kind of had this feeling that that was probably gonna be the case anyway, because Beyonce, Jay-Z, power couple, not to mention, according to the Sony Music CEO, Morris, he said that they have had just a very blossoming, a very profitable relationship with Jay-Z over the years, that they wanted to try to help him out in any way possible. Of course, a lot of people are a bit on the fence about Tidal. A lot of comparisons to Spotify and other streaming music platforms that's out there. A lot of people don't think that this will succeed, but iTunes, as many will point out, it didn't catch fire in one day. Took a lot of time. Same thing with Spotify. Spotify is just now really starting to catch on, especially now that they're going into the podcast field. I gotta tell you, the price tag that Tidal has right now versus Spotify, it is double what you're doing over at Spotify, But I don't know right now. I got to see a little bit more. If they could just home in and do more exclusives, like maybe release more exclusive albums, music videos, just focus more on exclusive content that's not going to be available anywhere else on Spotify. I think that would definitely be the keys of great success for trying to get people to come on over and pay that $20 a month. As it stands right now, there is no type of a free trial service whatsoever. But for you Beyonce fans and you have Tidal and you were a bit concerned about her catalog, it's not going anywhere. Now that doesn't mean that as far as the other artists that may have been rumored to be pulled from Tidal, whether or not they get pulled, that remains to be seen. But for Beyonce, she is safe. Quick programming note, we're going to be coming on live on YouTube and also on Spreaker this Sunday, May 31st at 10:50 p.m. Eastern, or immediately after the WWE Elimination Chamber event has concluded. We will review that event, cover full fallout, great analysis, great reactions from you, our subscribers, our listeners. So make sure you join us, especially if you're not going to be able to catch the event. Check out our stream. Again, it'll be here on YouTube and also on Spreaker, 10:50 p.m. Eastern, or immediately after the event concludes. And then also quick programming note for June 1st, Monday, June 1st, there will not be a RCWR show live due to the Stone Cold podcast special that will be airing on the WWE network. His special guest will be Paul Heyman. We will not cover Raw Fallout as we would normally do Monday nights, but we will be coming on YouTube live immediately after the Stone Cold special has concluded to give a overall review of the event. So make sure you join us for that and let us know what you thought about the podcast special, if you're going to be able to check that out. And then of course Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, June 2nd, Spreaker.com, we will be back with an all new The RCWR Show live, and some of the things that we're going to be working on for that. We'll dive more into the whole fiasco that's come about with TNA Wrestling and really tackle the big question that's out there. Is this the final days of the TNA Wrestling promotion? I'm going to try to look at it from all standpoints, and I'll also give you guys my analysis on this, what is now considered among many to be a very poor deal that TNA Wrestling had got set up with Discovery Communications, as it's really looking as though Discovery Communications will be done with TNA Wrestling come September. I'll give you guys my thoughts with regards to that. Also, we teased it earlier with Full House coming on board Netflix. If it is going to be a success, could other vintage shows come into play on Netflix? Is it a case where Netflix may find a little bit of a niche right there with nostalgia? I'll give you guys a couple of thoughts as far as what shows I think Netflix should consider looking into if the Full House reboot is a success. You guys don't want to miss that. That's going to be really awesome. We'll also cover the very latest in wrestling, entertainment, news, and beyond. If it's got you talking, we will definitely be talking about it on the RCWR Show. So, how'd we do this week? Comment down below, let us know, and make sure you're following me throughout social media. Twitter at the RCWR Show, Facebook, Infinity One Productions, that's with an E, spell out one, Infinity One Productions. Check out our website while you're there. Great editorial that I did on WWE Hall of Famer Sonny, who's possibly going to be going into the adult porn industry. You guys want to check that out. It's a really great read. Very proud of what I had wrote on there. And also, I got to make sure I show this some love, because people continue to reach out to me and tell me how much of a great interview that it was. And that's our great conversation that we had with former WWE superstar JTG of Crime Time. If you did not check it out, it's available on our YouTube channel right now in the playlist guest exclusives. So check that out. Are you new to us? Love to have you subscribe so you never miss out on all the great content we do for you here on a weekly basis, whether it comes to reviews, breaking news, insightful interviews. We got a little bit of something for everybody. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and you never miss out. All right. That is going to do it. Please make sure you give this a thumbs up. When you do, you show your love and appreciation for us video creators, especially here on YouTube, as a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy goes into these video creations that we do for you here. And share it all throughout social media. Until the Elimination Chamber post show, we will see you next go round. Everybody be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. Take care. Adios.